Hey everyone, GJB2003 here, and as you can see in front of you today, I'm going to be reviewing the PNSO 2019 Giganotosaurus. And oh boy, do I have a lot to say about this guy. Most of it is positive. Okay, let's hop into the review, I guess. So starting up with the head sculpt and the paintwork on it, you can see that the detailing, if my camera will focus, is super tiny scales, super well made. Got the eye up there. Yeah, nice kind of gold color with the black pupil. Got these amazing shades of orange going across, and it just works really well with the gray and the almost dirty look with the kind of the airbrushing, whatever going on. The teeth are very tiny, very well done. Inside of the mouth is sculpted and painted wonderfully. He's got a nostril up there, which looks nice. Articulated jaw, closes well, and he does have some sort of lips going on there. As we move down, we can see the arms. Yeah. Got ribs, more tiny scales. He's got these ridges running down his back, which definitely looks interesting. I think that's more of a stylistic choice than anything else, but it works, I guess. See, this leg here looks like it's walking. That foot is more firmly planted. You can see a lot of the nice musculature over here. The tail comes up and it sort of flicks to the end there. This thing looks pretty dynamic, I gotta say. Not as much as the Safari Giga, but it's definitely pretty good. If we turn them around here. See the tail again. Back down to the foot. The ribs are visible on the other side. We've got some nice kind of skin folding kind of around the stomach here. We come back up to that excellent head sculpt. Man. So as far as the anatomical accuracy of this figure is concerned, it's okay, but it's pretty solid, but it isn't perfect. Definitely not perfect. The proportions overall look pretty good. He might be a little bit kind of wide-bodied here. That might be right, but I'm not entirely sure. The feet are actually the proper size, which is nice, not big and oversized like a lot of people do. Like a lot of companies tend to make that very... They make the feet bigger so it can balance, but he's got base, so he doesn't really need that. The real anatomical flaw with this thing is the shrink wrapping. There's some pretty major deep shrink wrapping going on here on the face and along the ribs here. Like overall he looks pretty meaty and bulky, but then like these two areas is just so like, yeah, I don't know. But aside from that, it's not bad. Skull shape might not be perfect, but it gets the point across. It looks pretty good. Yeah, that's all I really have to say about that aspect of him. It's solid, not perfect, but it's good. Talking about the base here for a moment, it is worth mentioning that he won't stand on his own without the base. So I'm just going to set him down over here for a moment. Now you can see that the base is very nicely detailed. He's got a footprint there, probably mostly for stability reasons. There's a peg here that goes into his foot, but a lot of little rocks, a bunch of bones, what looks to be what was once like a riverbed or a wash. More rocks, kind of looks almost sedimentary, the whole thing. Got a little bit of leaves there, more of this kind of dried water look. Almost looks like a more fresh batch of water running through here. Maybe this is a mostly dried up riverbed, but not completely. I don't know. nothing much going on the bottom, just some labels and stuff. There is one thing that I do feel the need to mention though about this base, and that is it doesn't feel like it's the best quality. It feels solid enough, but I don't know if you can hear that, but it almost sounds hollow. And if not, it's made of a very soft plastic, and it's kind of flexible. You can kind of squish it a little bit, and if I actually grab the giganotosaurus here, try and get him on, the peg is very tight. I will give them that. They did a good job making sure he's secure. I'll have to set the camera down for a second here. Alright, so if you can see as his foot moves, the base kind of flexes a little bit, like, and then his front foot just kind of comes over and sits down there. It's not attached to anything. He's got to kind of put it down. But he stands, but it doesn't feel that solid. He kind of wobbles a little bit. I mean, this is a shelf, so it's not really gonna shake when I hit it, but this looks really good, but it's not impeccable quality. I'd be a little careful with it in general. Like, it probably won't fall, but it might, and you definitely gotta make sure you put the foot in correctly and make sure he's lined up so he stays standing, because you definitely don't want this guy to fall, because he's pretty heavy, and that would be bad. So for the size comparisons, I'm going to be leaving him off the base, and I'm going to correct something I said earlier in the video. He actually does stand without it. I just made him do that somehow. Probably has to be very even ground, and that's not too sturdy. That's actually not bad. Okay, he actually does stand. That's going to be very useful. I didn't know that. So first off, here he is next to some smaller carnivore figures, the Sphaerocoelophysis and the Papo Ceratosaurus and Carnotaurus. You can see that he absolutely dwarfs these guys. Yeah. Right here he's next to some herbivore figures from Safari. Giganotosaurus would not have actually encountered either of these things in life, but yeah. Just for comparison's sake, here they are. Here he is next to a couple of larger theropod figures. You can see that he's a skosh bigger than the Safari Giga back there. And he's a little longer than the W Dragon T-Rex. Yeah. I think he's the biggest of these three. So there's that. I actually want to show a slightly different angle here for this. Got the tails all up against the wall. And you can see that he is indeed the longest out of these three. Very cool. And here, and here he is next to some very, very large theropod figures from Rebor, the Killer Queen and Vanilla Ice T-Rexes. This one's not really a T-Rex here, it's a Vistatosaurus. I have to keep a hand on Killer Queen because it doesn't stand on its own. I don't know what's going on there. I think the foot might be a little warped, but you can see that the PNSO Giga is not as big as either of these, but it's not that much smaller, but still definitely is a bit smaller. So my final thoughts on this figure are extremely positive. I absolutely love this thing. It's one of my favorite figures in my collection. This is the first thing I've ever bought from PNSO, and I am not disappointed in the slightest. This thing is incredible. I'm very comfortable saying this is the best Giganotosaurus on the market right now. It's more interesting looking than the Safari one. Well, it's a lot more detailed than that one. and it's a lot more interesting than the Eofauna Giga, just by virtue of the paint scheme. This thing's a heck of a lot better than Vitae's in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what else to say. This is an excellent figure. Not quite up to scratch with some of the stuff that W Dragon is making, but I mean, other than that, PNSO is blowing everyone out of the water. I mean, seriously, but they better for the price that they're asking for this thing. This thing was like, I don't know, I don't remember the exact price, but it's somewhere in the 70s, I believe. But I would say that it's worth it. It's worth the price. If you've got the money, get this guy. You will not regret it. I can guarantee you that much. So yeah, that'll be all. See you around.